Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know you guys probably do not see my face very often, but if you're new here, I am Candy and I'm so happy to welcome you to my channel. I cook all types of different things, you know, I dabble in different cultures. I cook Caribbean, Asian, American, all types of different foods. So, you know, so you must find something here that you will enjoy. And if you return into my channel, I want to say thank you so much. You guys are awesome. It's because of you, you know, I keep going and it motivates me to keep doing what I do. I just wanted to say that I appreciate your support. And in today's video, I will be sharing a recipe for empanadas. Empanadas it's like a beef patty. Empanada is just another name for it. And it's fried instead of baked. I know you guys will enjoy this, but before we jump right in, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And guys, don't forget to like, share, and comment on the video. It truly helps the channel out a lot. Now let's get into the recipe. Okay guys, so let's start by making our pastry dough first. Here I'll be using some all-purpose flour. I have cold butter and shortening. I'll be using some cold water as well as some salt and sugar. Super simple. Next, we'll add all of our ingredients to our flour, starting with the salt and sugar. We'll mix that in and then we'll go in with the butter and shortening. I will be doing this by hand, but if you like, you can use a stand mixer or whatever you prefer. You want to work everything in until your flour resembles breadcrumbs or wet sand. Once everything is nicely combined and the flour starts to look like this, like I said, breadcrumbs or wet sand, you want to go in with that cold water. And you want to press and squeeze until you form a nice dough. You don't want to knead this, you just squeeze it until everything comes together. Once it comes together, you want to place it into, well, I will be using a Ziploc bag, but if you like, you can use saran wrap, plastic wrap, whatever you prefer. We'll place this in the fridge until we get our filling ready. So for the filling, here are my ingredients that I'll be using. I have some ground beef here. I'll be using some Gouda cheese and sharp cheddar. You can use whatever cheese you like. I have some thyme, green onions, and cilantro, as well as some tomato paste. I'll be using garlic, onions, bell peppers. I also have some green seasoning, and I have some sazon, beef bouillon, complete seasoning, seasoned salt, black pepper, and some brown sugar. In a preheated pot, I will now add my ground beef and we'll allow this to brown up a bit and release all of its moisture. The reason for this is I like to cook the ground beef and allow it to release the moisture and the oil so that I know if I need to drain it or if I can continue with what we have. So at this point, all of the moisture has evaporated. The beef is nice and brown and we don't have much oil, so I don't need to drain it. What we'll do next is add our seasonings to add flavor and taste to the ground beef. We'll allow it to go for about 2 minutes and then we'll go in with some of that tomato paste. I like to add a bit of color to my meat, so I'm using the tomato paste for that purpose. The sazon also helps with coloring, so that's perfect. Once that is nicely seasoned, we'll go ahead and start adding our vegetables. We'll add all the vegetables and allow it to go for about 5 minutes. After about 5 minutes, those vegetables should soften up nicely, the flavor should be released, and the meat should be perfectly cooked. Now we'll turn the heat off, set this aside, and allow it to cool down completely before moving on to the next step. Now let's get started on our dough. The first thing you want to do is flour your surface. Then you want to lay the dough onto your floured surface and you want to roll it out really thin. You want to roll it thin because you want the dough to cook perfectly when we start frying it. If you roll it out thick, then the dough will take a long time to cook and it might not cook properly inside. I've made this before and I rolled the dough out, a little thicker than I should. And when I fried it, it was raw on the inside and you don't want that. So you want to roll it nice and thin, and then I'll show you guys the next step. Next, I'll be using a small mini pot cover to cut my circles out. If you have a cookie cutter or any other thing, you can use that, but I have to improvise. I don't have anything else, so I'll be using this. So you want to go ahead and just cut your circles out until you're out of dough basically. So that's what I did. Went ahead, cut my circles out, and then I'll show you guys the next step. Next, you want to just take some of your filling and place it right in the middle of your dough. You don't want to fill it up too much because you don't want it to burst in the oil. So you want to just go moderately. You don't want to overdo it. And then you want to place your cheese right there. And that's it. We will grab the two ends and just make sure that you seal it really tight. You just, pinch it until it's fully sealed because you don't want this to burst in the oil. If that bursts in the oil, it's a big mess and we don't want that. So you want to make sure it's properly sealed, and then we'll take a fork and make the nice little designs just to make it look presentable. And we will carry on with this step until we're all done. So I got 8 empanadas with what I had. Now I did have some dough left over, but all of my filling, I ran out of that. So I only could make 8 of them. But if you do make yours, just put a little more ground beef so you can, use up all of the dough. In my preheated oil, I will now add the empanadas in there. And we'll fry them until they're nice and golden brown. Now you don't want to have your heat up too high because you want the dough to cook thoroughly all the way through. So you want to, allow it to cook slowly and not have it brown up super fast and then it gets raw in the middle. So you want to add them in and you want to just scoop that oil over top. Now if you want, you can flip them, but just for a short while because you don't want to ruin the shape of the empanadas. So what I did was flip mine for about, let's say 2 minutes or so, and then I flipped them over and that's it. Once they were nice and golden brown on both sides, I just removed them and I carried on with that same process. Keep frying until we're all done, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. And you want your empanadas to remain nice and crispy. So the best thing to sit them on is a nice rack so that they don't become soggy sitting on a paper towel in that oil. Now guys, is that time, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's see how crispy and flaky and delicious the empanadas are on the inside. Look at that. Pure perfection, guys. Once you try this, you will be hooked. I think I like this better than the baked patties, actually. The fried ones, they're so bomb. I hope you guys give the recipe a try. If you enjoyed my video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for me. I will be leaving all my ingredients and measurements down in the description box, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a good day and enjoy!